Happy birthday, Night at the Museum Battle of the Smithsonian. Wow. Just so you guys know, I don't know if this will be uploaded late at night on the 22nd of May or whatever, or maybe on the 23rd, which will be a Sunday for me because it's getting pretty darn late. I would have uploaded this earlier, but then my friend Evan came over and I thought, well, I might as well go diecast hunting since I got Tom W., as you can see behind me, and then make it my 100th anniversary, or my 100th cars hunt today. But no, apparently that's going to be pushed back to tomorrow. And then my dad had us go to Jeff's again, just like last night. And Evan wanted to come along and just kind of turned into a mess. And I didn't really get to upload my Battle of the Smithsonian video. Okay, fine. But then I couldn't do my cars hunt thing either. Oh, that was one bird. Wait, no, that was two birds not killed off with one stone, or however it works. Oh, no. Um, I don't know how the thing works now. Two stones not working on one bird. Yeah. But despite that, even though this video is kind of late, let's make the best of it. Night at the Museum Battle of Smithsonian. Wow, what a film. I definitely have a lot of nostalgia for this movie. A lot of very interesting nostalgia, too. This movie came out back in 2009 or so, and this means that it's I'd say about 12 years old now. Can you believe that? And again, it's been a little bit of time since I've fully seen this movie, though. Mostly because I haven't gotten around to seeing any of these movies myself. Gosh dang it, Dad. I want some time to myself so I can do this kind of stuff. And being able to look at certain things and analyze certain stuff and all, so that way I can enjoy it, so that way I don't take up my parents' time or anything like that. But I can forgive myself for that, because at least I'm already familiar enough with these movies. Plus I can watch clips and analytic videos and stuff like that on YouTube. Obviously, I've showcased in the past many times that Night at the Museum is unbelievably important to me in my life. When I would list my favorite franchises, the top ones would include Cars and Thomas. Those two are like 1 and 2. And then others like Wall-E, Jurassic Park, and then Night at the Museum, and as well as a bunch of others, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and Poseidon, you get the point, Titanic, MCU, etc., FNAF, you get the point. So I would love any installments of Night at the Museum, right? And you may be expecting me to say no here, but actually, yes, I do enjoy all of them in some way. I adore the first movie so unbelievably much in so many ways. Secret of the Tomb is a really nice conclusion, and I had a lot of excitement and hype for. And it probably would have been a lot more surprising and funny, to be honest, the actual experience itself, if the trailers didn't reveal all the best jokes and a bunch of the plot points. Thanks a lot, trailer spoilers. I still have yet to do my redone rant on you. Yeah, back in the day I made a rant on it, but it was in a video that was basically 4 rants all in one, and it was really half-assed and half-baked, and I really am not proud of it. I mean, I made fun of morgues and stuff like that. Or did I already do a spoilers rant redone? I can't even recall at this point. It's been so long. And yes, that was Evan's idea, putting all these things that I would take a lot of time and energy and commitment and personal experience into, only for it to be rushed and half-baked. Thanks a lot, Evan. But I can't be too angry at him. I had fun with him today. But before I talk about the movie itself and my thoughts on it, I want to talk about the merchandise I've had over the years. I, for some reason, could not find a bunch of my Night at the Museum Battle of the Smithsonian McDonald's toys that I own, which I have a ton of McDonald's toys, by the way, that I never get to show you because a darn mirror and mattress and a sink here are all in the way. I can't really raise up my camera too much because I'll reveal myself in this mirror here. But you get the point. It's so hard to get back in there. It's so difficult to squirm my way back into this corner area, and it's incredibly frustrating. Can you imagine how hard it is to get my trains in that thing? Can you imagine how hard it is to get Hot Wheels or Toy Story characters or something like that back there? It's unbelievably frustrating, and this stuff has been sitting here for way too long. And I'm getting really fed up with it. Really fed up. But I'm not going to let that bother me too much. But even then, once I was able to get back there, I could only find this guy, Captain George, Colonel Custer, whatever his name is, my bad, on his little motorbike here, which is cool and fun. Very awesome. And also this Einstein bobblehead, who I've had on my shelf way up there for a long time now. Any person who watches or pays attention to what I'm recording on Hangouts or Discord, or no, Hangouts only, will probably recognize this little doodad. And yeah, I believe I also had these. Wait, actually, I still do. Hold on. Here they are. I've had these out and I found them a while back somewhere in last year, and I wanted to do something with them. I've showcased them in a few Hangouts calls, and now I'm finally being able to do it with my videos. You guys can obviously tell that I have the Einstein bobblehead and General Custer or whatever. And I did have a card for this guy, and I must have lost it, or it's here somewhere and I just can't find it. Probably up in the shelf somewhere where he usually stays. But yeah, these are the ones I definitely have here. And the Larry one, that's for a toy of him with the octopus. And no, it's not a giant squid, you normie pinheads. I also have Amelia Earhart with a plane, and an Octavius wearing or riding the squirrel. And I have all those, definitely, but I can't find them for some reason. I've been like tooling around with them for a long time now, and I've often like gone brushed past them and all. But when I was digging through those bins and stuff like that, and I even went in the basement to get some of these items I'm about to show you, I couldn't find them. And as for the other two, the Easter Island head, which speaks for itself, and Rexy, which also speaks for itself, both of these I've sadly lost. Many, many, many years ago, I was at my local Target, the same one I always go to, and we were in the beauty section with me and my mom, and I left my Rexy on the shelf somewhere, and I never went back and got it. I think I remember realizing when we were out in the parking lot, about to like get in the car, and I thought, wait a minute, where's my thing? And for some reason, I don't know why, but we didn't go back and get it. Stupid of us. Even though I outright said it to my mom or something. As for the Easter Island head, that one's a bit more justified as to why I lost it. Me and my friend Jordan, who's almost like non-existent when it comes to talking to me nowadays, though his mom Elza and also her daughter Amelia, who is now almost as tall as I am, she used to be so short and young. Yeah, they're still friends with, but Jordan barely talks with me, but we're just kind of neutral to one another. It's more so we just don't see each other very much anymore, but a lot of friends are like that with me, unfortunately. Look at how Riley was. But yeah, me and Elza, we all went together to IKEA, not my mom though, and there was an area where they had like displays, and there was like a table or whatever that had a bunch of toys on it in a display section. And I had left my Easter Island head toy that I brought with me, and I left it sitting on there. And we went off to another area, and there was a section where there was like these hanging tarps or whatever, a rainbow little thing for kids to run through from the other side to another. And Jordan was on one side and run through it, and I was on the other side and I ran through it, and we banged each other's heads really hard, and I got a bump on my head, and we had to get going, and we were leaving, going, owie! We weren't crying too hard, I don't think, but still, it hurt badly. And Elsa took me to my house here, and I remember having a bag on my head, and eventually I realized, oh crap, my Easter Island head toy, oh no. And ever since then, both of those toys have been lost. Most definitely forever. Probably in the garbage, probably in the dust, probably in the ocean. Lord knows. But these two cards still remain and exist. And I am very thankful to still have them. But yeah. The rest of these I can't find. Nor can I find the card for, obviously, him. But I did find the card for him and the actual toy. Now, as for the rest of this, this is a Rexy toy I would sometimes fiddle around with, which isn't actually a Rexy toy. It's from a Hot Wheels set, which I have a bunch of Hot Wheels as well. I think that's pretty evident from this stuff. But yeah, that's also a thing that I have here. And also this little toy, which is not Night Museum related, it's like Indiana Jones. It's like a Burger King toy or something. But I would always love this thing because I would often do displays where I'd get a bunch of like food containers for lunches, put various toys and like soldiers and stuff like that, kind of animals, all that kind of stuff into them, including this, so I can recreate the scene in Battle of the Smithsonian where everything's being boxed up, or when Larry's in the archives, etc. I also have this, which I got from art class, where we could just there was a huge bin of like toys and just random trinkets and items that I just could grab stuff from, and you could use them for a certain like painting for the background and just adding stuff, which I should probably show sometime, but it would reveal what I look like. Just note that it's not the most accurate thing. But anyways, I found this, and it was cool, but it didn't have a head. Whatever, it's still cool. It could be used for something. And now here it is years later, and it's being used for something. And I got tons of items from that little bin thing that I still own, like some items in there. But yeah, there's all of those. Also, on a side note, I have a ton of these Shrek toys as well. This little keychain that was sitting up here for so unbelievably long with all my other keychains. And I don't know why I haven't had any of them on my backpack for a while. Mostly because I have a fear of losing them. Because some of them are like metal and easy to lose. But this is fine. This, which is so cute. This little thing, which I don't think is a McDonald's toy. This, I believe, is just Puss in Boots, which it is that, but it's probably from the movie. This, I didn't actually think I had. I saw this in a Shafrillis Shrek 4 video. You know what I'm talking about. Where he says, ha ha ha, okay, let's talk about Fiora now. Da-na-na-na-na-na. But yeah. And then I was rummaging in the basement a few moments ago and found this. How hilarious is that? This as well. This is cute. I like this. This toy of Donkey that I've had for years. This Shrek baby. Freshly cooked Shrek baby. That's a Who's Your Daddy series reference. Anyways, yeah, I also. This is, I believe, from Shrek the Turd, but who cares? It works for Shrek 4, kind of. Though I think they were wearing clothes in that movie. Whatever. It still works. Also, on a side note, I found these as well when I was rummaging through my bins up in here, back there. And this, when I see it, all I can think of is anime LPS. Girl, if you're watching this, you're so nice. Also, I have a ton of Kung Fu Panda toys, which Kung Fu Panda is absolutely awesome. I love Kung Fu Panda. I was watching some clips of the movie the other nights and stuff like that, and a Cinema Wins video. Still such great movies. I adore them. And yeah, I need to start making videos on them or something sometime. They deserve it. But yeah, so with that all out of the way, how about we get to some of the actual movie nostalgia? Back then, I didn't see the movie when it came out too much. I was very nostalgic for the first movie, only seeing it a few times as a young kid. My earliest time I remember seeing it, though, was when I was at Jeff's, and he was like scrolling through the guide. Me and my parents were at Jeff's, and we saw Night at the Museum, and we clicked on it. And the only memories I remember having watching watching the movie that time was when Larry sees the animals running down the steps and everything like that. I love that clip. As well as him and McPhee walking towards McPhee's office. Those were like the two moments I remember from the film back then. Or at least watching way back then. But as for actual, Battle of the Smithsonian, I don't think I really watched it much as a kid when it came out, really. Because we didn't really go to the movie theater to see it or anything. From what I can recall, at least. Maybe we did, who knows. But for some reason, because of that, I only remember seeing it once because of our friend Sandy giving me a DVD disc or whatever, and I only watched it a few times as a kid or so. Because of that, I had this very fond memory of this movie, only like, it was almost like a distant thought, like something you forgot about, only to realize, hey, it's actually real when you come back to it later on. And almost, unlike Cars or Thomas, I wasn't even that, like, fully 100% fond of Night at the Museum as a really young kid. It wasn't until I finally got a DVD of it, which I've had for so many years now, that I kept rewatching it over and over and over and over and over, and that's what made me love it so much, and why I have such good childhood of it. This movie, though, doesn't have that quite as strongly. It was more so later on. But for some reason, I kept thinking that all of the, like, new characters we'd see, from the octopus to the pharaoh, etc., I thought they were all, like, new exhibits back then to the actual museum from New York. I don't know why. I don't know what I was thinking. Like, for example, when the octopus is breaking out and everything, I would always have this, like, little memory of that clip. Not the actual scene where we see it, like, forward and he's, like, picking up all the dudes or whatever. He was in that, like, loading dock in the first movie, and you see him breaking out, and you see it, like, zooming in on his face. And he's, like, looking this way, kind of. It was, like, really intense and everything like that. And it looks like the same position as my McDonald's toy, which I wish I could show you, but I can't because darn stuff in the way. Every inconvenience always piles up for me, and I hate it. But yeah, that, and maybe a few other things. That's like my earliest memories of this film. And then eventually, I got myself another DVD of it. Not like a proper one, but yeah, I eventually, got the movie itself, and I rewatched it quite a few times, not as much as the first. And did I enjoy it as much as the first as a kid? No, but that's mostly because it doesn't take place in the same museum that I've grown to love so much of, and I've basically tried recreating multiple times, including currently. And yeah, it doesn't focus that much on the same amount of characters. Like, we barely see Rexy. We see Jedediah and Octo quite a bit in the film. Teddy only appears at the beginning and the end. Larry we see basically the entire film, and the other characters are just in a few scenes and stuff. And then the rest of it's just with the new characters and stuff like that, and a little bit with McPhee and Nick. So yeah, I obviously didn't enjoy as much as the first film, and I still don't now. Does that mean I dislike it, or it's just mediocre, or just nostalgia or whatever? The answer to that is no. I still enjoy this movie. I still enjoy the score. I still enjoy the humor. Amelia Earhart, who's played by Amy Adams, is such an enjoyable character, and Amy does such a great performance. I enjoy the plot very much. It admittedly has kind of a Cars 2 syndrome kind of thing, where it is a nice, enjoyable movie that I care for, but it doesn't impact the franchise very much. Merchandise wise, yeah, Cars 2 definitely does. Can you go anywhere without seeing? If you were to see any Cars merchandise of anything from somewhere, most likely it's going to be related to Cars 2 in some way. Unless we're talking about the diecast line where it's just kind of a few things. But yeah, Battle of the Smithsonian, first movie ends with him with this whole snapper thing, and then cut to the next movie, he's kind of quit his whole nighttime watchman job, and then eventually he goes back to save his friends, and they're back at the museum, and he goes back to his night watchman job, and he kind of gives up on his whole inventor thing. Well, not really. He just sells his company, and then the events of the third film come along. So it doesn't really impact the story very much, with the exception of showcasing a bit more of Nikki and various other things. Maybe some details I'm not thinking about. Plus, it explains the whole, thing with his son, of course, and of course, the whole thing with, his inventions thing. But still, it doesn't really affect the series very much. But that's fine. I still, like I said, the effects look pretty dang nice, and the effects on Rexy look even better than the first movie. And I love various characters like the Pharaoh, and I love the Lincoln scenes. I love the battle as well as a lot of fun. I love the squid. The whole Dexter and um, Abel thing is enjoyable. I love Custer's little message that he gets from Larry. I love the Einstein bobbleheads and the I can almost remember the code, but I don't have enough time and battery to tell you what it is. And I love the opening credit sequence, not nearly as much as the first film, not by a long shot, but still. I enjoy the scene where Teddy is speaking literally anything towards Larry, and yeah, I really like the little moments with the Easter Island head. I love the scenes with the three main villains and all of their helpers. I love the scenes with the paintings, and I love I love the flying sequence. I love the animals and creatures and stuff like that can be seen in the archives. And I love listening to the commentary. I just love so many parts of this movie. Not nearly as much as the other films I've talked about in these birthday videos. It's more so, I really like this stuff. I really do, and some of it I absolutely love. But yeah, I still appreciate this film so much, and it has a huge impact on me, especially merchandise-wise. I mean, good lord. I have much more merchandise of this movie than any of the other two. If they even have McDonald's merchandise or whatever. Please tell me if they do, please. But yeah, I really do enjoy this movie, and it does not deserve the flack that it gets. And I'm glad to see that more and more people are opening up to the Night at the Museum films and remembering them. They deserve far more attention than kiddie stuff like Trolls or whatever. Just treat your audience with intelligence, no matter their age. And I can definitely say that the Night at the Museum films definitely do that, for the most part, I must say at least. So yeah, all that's left now is Secret of the Tomb and the original. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this little video. And by little, I mean 18-minute long, but still. Thank you very much, Night at the Museum Battle of the Smithsonian. You've made such an impact on my life. Some parts of which are sad, but still. And I remember the days when I thought this was like the conclusion of this series, this franchise. And then when Secret of the Tomb was being, like, previewed from some, like, blockbuster thing that was on TV, I was like, wait, what? What's this? It was almost like a Mater's Tall Tale thing, where I was kind of, like, surprised and excited, but I wasn't, like, skimming, like, the computer or whatever to look up information about it or whatever. And then when me and my parents finally got our first tablet, and I remember sometime in 2014, there was the trailer for the third film, and I was, like, rewatching this again and again, and I was like, what? What? I remember this. This was, like, previewed to some blockbuster thing on TV. Oh, this is so cool. Wait, Cecil, he's back. Yeah, it was so cool to see so many aspects in the Secret of the Tomb film return from the first. Like the battle, like for example, soldiers, for example, never appeared in the second movie, as well as plenty of other background extras. In fact, we barely see a lot of the stuff in Battle of Smithsonian, just most of the main characters, a few side characters, and a handful of animals, and that's it. We barely even see that many of the sets. We see partially the Egyptian Hall, and if you even want to call it part of the African Hall, it may not even been that. I think they just made part of the jungle area where Dexter was sitting on, and of course the main hall, part of which I think was maybe digital effects, but I need to watch videos on that. And of course, they spent all their time and money on all the Battle Smithsonian sets that actually take place at the Smithsonian, or recreating stuff like that, or make their own thing. So yeah, I understand why, but still, it would have been cooler to see more of the original stuff. Like the Hall of American History, I want to see more of that. Maybe the Hall of Wonders, we could get a little glimpse of that, etc. But still, I'm not complaining. I like this movie a heck of a lot, and I have to thank it so much. So happy birthday, Night at the Museum, Battle of the Smithsonian. You deserve such a great 12th anniversary this year. Or 11th, whatever it is.